And when people say, hey, aren't you planning a little early? We could say, no, look at your store this week. There is Christmas stuff. But I don't know.
God, it must be exhausting living in that brain of yours. I
It,
think like maybe at max 7 days in advance, and that's on a good like a good stretch of time. I think mostly I'm just day to day at this point. So kudos for you for thinking that far. I think that a good Christmas idea for an episode would be Christmas, a Festivus for the rest of us. I don't know, just us talking about Christmas shows.
like so like my actual plan, I'll just like pitch the idea to you real quick, and this can be a Patreon bit, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to try showing you it, and I want you to see it, and blah blah blah. All right.
Mike, put your dick away. I don't want to see that.
Man, damn it! What if this is the audio part of the podcast and people think it happened? God damn it, Mike!
Got him, boys. On this week's episode of the Economy of Nothing, we talk about the Rapture and how it just happened, but yet we're still here. Are we the bad guys? Also, the Xmas Christmas special coming up soon. Looking for ideas, looking for flavors, looking for fun ideas. Leave comments for this segment coming up. Then we talk about Snowpiercer, the movie. Weapons. 28 years later, hits number one again. And the Emmy Awards, how it hit an all-time high, and why is that? Alright. Obviously, we're not going to use that one. That was just me going through it.
Mike, that was fucking incredible. And can I tell you something that I think would not surprise anyone but me, I guess, is that I guess I hadn't considered the fact that if the rapture happened, I wouldn't be raptured. So I was thinking, oh, the rapture is the end of the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm such a self-involved asshole that I was like, oh, well, there won't be a Tuesday if the rapture happens, because I won't be here.
Because you're like, I'm clearly going. Like, why wouldn't I? Yeah, so apparently, listeners or viewers, there was a huge... I honestly don't know what's real anymore. I honestly think they're testing us to see how much bullshit they can get away with. But when I say they, I mean like the Magnificent Seven and their AI companies or whatever. But I think it's...
Orbit.
I ran across this on the algorithm while I was just sitting on the commode, doing the morning nuptials.
Did you steal that from somewhere?
No, just
I saw it on the algorithm.
Saw it on the algorithm. But anyways, yeah, apparently everybody, somebody had tricked, I don't remember who the group was. I'm sure it was somebody smart enough to trick people to get them to think this, but that the rapture was supposed to happen on the 23rd or the 24th, and they couldn't get the date right because they couldn't agree, which was funny, number one. And number two is they were also convincing these people, like doing like infomercials, like QVC style infomercials, being like, when you rapture, don't look down. And it's like basically everything you saw from the movie This Is the End, kind of stuff. But also people were giving away their belongings because they actually believed that they were getting raptured. Now, you have to remember, I don't know if this really happened or not. I've seen videos. They didn't look like AI, but they could have been. I don't know where AI is at this point as far as like generating images, but maybe. Mike, your thoughts? Sorry.
Yeah, well, I think I just said, obviously I'm a bit full of myself, and I hadn't considered the idea that the rapture would happen, and maybe I wouldn't know. That maybe the two of us could be recording this call on 9/24/2025, and we're still here because we suck. And because I haven't been outside, I guess, in, I don't know, an hour or so, right? I started waiting for the podcast and you were late. And then, so I was just waiting here, just waiting and waiting, not seeing other people. So they all could have been raptured, I guess, in that amount of time, right? Anyway, I'll cut most of that. But no, honestly, I guess I had no, but how the fuck could you know what, from where? What,
I just want to know, how does that get started? Like, how does something like that get started? Like, right? Like, it takes, obviously, takes some very gullible people. Number one, number two, it takes some people that are like desperate, right? Because like in order to believe that, you have to feel like you're trapped or life is not fun for you. Which I imagine right now. I mean, as far as America goes, it's like everybody's wallets are like more pinched. Mike, you're unemployed. I don't think I don't think this is like peak
But I
having
think,
fun
but
season. You
no,
know,
but
so
I think that this stuff, like the thing is, it's why the media and these people are like complicit in this shit, right? Is because like these things need like to subsist upon themselves, right? So like once it's a scam that's then been reported on by the like
the
uh
White House.
no, by like by the news, right? Then a higher
Yeah.
level of news reports on it and blah blah blah. And then then the terms are in the air. And then it like for a little bit makes it easier for them to scam you.
Speaking of scams, I don't know, Mike, because you live under a rock these days. Have you seen
Like,
the what? What do you got to say? Nothing.
no, I was gonna say like the funniest fucking thing to me is like I live under a rock because I'm not on my phone as much as you. But continue.
Anyways,
No, I think it's a
since
fun. We live in fun
since you
times.
since you live
Since
under
I
a
live
rock
under
these
a
days,
rock, I don't have TikTok. What are you talking about?
yeah. If Patrick Starr was a real person, it'd be
The
Michael
phone
Dobbs.
is not real
Yeah.
life, Mike. The phone's not
I
real, Mike.
know,
It's
but you
not your
make me look.
friend.
You
You don't
listen.
know any of these
You
people.
make me look there for topics because you won't look. Okay, so here we go. Number two.
The show's funnier when I don't have the topics.
Is it? I'm not laughing. So
Mike,
the
you want me
you.
to have the
Oh my
topics?
god. No, just shut up and let me get through this one fucking thing. I just gotta figure it out. Okay. There.
I'm
The,
just trying to help
you
you get your
said.
groove, Mike.
You
I'm
just
just trying to
said
help
that.
you.
Oh, I got the groove. Um, you said it best. You were like, something gets reported on by a higher like media, then it's more likely to be considered um, serious. Well, the White House puts out things now like on a website and like blasted on True Social to the point where you could honestly say the White House is its own media brand at this point, right now. Um, because the stuff that came out of there is like I guess our America 250 years is going to be a like giant UFC match on the front lawn of the White House, like just like globe style seating. Like, I mean, I get it, and yeah, but also if that's not the most thing, just like the movie Idiocracy, like is Mike Judd the smartest man to have ever lived? Because they're either copying his playbook or he's guessed some pretty wild things that have come seemingly accurate, like the Crocs and Costco, and like a famous person,
You know,
being
Mike,
president.
I'm gonna do a thing that like I might make the podcast weird. But maybe you
Yeah,
can look it up on your phone. Maybe this is an edit point and maybe like, what this is anyway, like what I'm saying is like no, this is why I shouldn't have done it. Like Andrew Jackson, like
he's
lawn
related to Michael Jackson, right?
Andrew Jackson lawn party pictures, but they're not pictures because it's olden times.
Are they dick pics?
No, it's just like that's what it makes me when I think of the screenshots. Like it's one of those things where, like, I don't know. Look at the visual radio right now, right? I don't. It's Andrew Johnson was the president of the United States of America. He's on the $20 bill. He was the hero of the Battle of
Is it Andrew
Louisiana.
Johnson or Andrew Jackson?
Andrew Jackson. Did I keep saying Andrew Johnson?
I was like,
God
who the
damn it!
fuck are you talking about,
Oh
dude?
my
Andrew
God.
Johnson. I'm so glad I corrected that because I think you were confusing Lyndon B. Johnson, but
Well, no, there's
that
a
is funny.
Andrew Johnson. Yeah. Anyway, it's yes. Yep. Yep. So sorry. What was I trying to say? Andrew Jackson. He's on the $20 bill. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So intro the show, Mike. Let's do it. No, no,
Yeah,
no,
dude, if you cut
no.
that, I'm gonna be so mad. I need people to know how dumb you are.
That's not going to be in the podcast. Go to patreon.com if you want to hear that. Yeah, Mike, pitch Patreon harder than you've ever pitched it right now because this will not be on the podcast.
EconomyofNothing.com. Go to the Patreon. Please like and subscribe and join, and you too can hear how Mike Badone is not as smart as he thinks he is.
All right, now back to the show.
EconomyofNothing.com.
So Andrew Jackson, he's on the. Excuse me, can I do a clean one? Thank you. Andrew Jackson, he's on the $20. You know who Andrew Jackson is. Yeah. So no, it makes me. I'm just trying to do a clean intro to like cut into. Like we
You know
can't
Andrew
keep
Jackson. We
some
go
of the,
way back. Me and Andrew Jackson,
like
I've got a ton of those in
the
my wallet.
visual radio can't start like have you know what I mean? Like you have to flow anyway. Uh, do you know what I would you know what I mean or do I have to explain it more?
You know, Mike, it's one of those things that you just say time and time and time again.
All right, fine. Andrew Jackson was like famous for having big parties at the White House, and
I didn't
like
know that.
they'd have like bare knuckle brawls and stuff in like the backyard on the lawn, right? So when you say
Nice.
UFC fight, it makes me think of the like paintings and stuff of those parties, right? And
Yeah.
like the shots in Idiocracy of like the kegger are must be referencing those paintings, right? Like
That's a good point. Yeah.
in like as they do when they do fucking art. You know what I mean? Like if you ever watch the behind the scenes of any movie, they're like, yeah, and we saw this other picture, and then we painted it as the background or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. They love Andrew Jackson. You know what I mean? Andrew Jackson's one of their favorites. So I don't know. I think this is America to some people. There are people who like old Americana who think like, yeah, the president should be holding a boxing match on the front lawn. That's fucking America, dude. Like people think that, right? You know what I mean?
Well, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know people think like that, but I do now.
Do people not think like that? You don't think? I don't know.
I don't think
I can
anyone
barely think that
saw.
like that. You
Yeah,
know what I
I don't
mean?
think anyone saw that coming.
No.
But yeah,
But I don't think anyone I think that only like the deep mind big guys who shape political media think that, right? They're the ones that put all of these names out there constantly and like different stuff and play. We have to defend this guy and that guy over there, right? It's like imagery in their heads over and it's propaganda, it's brainwashing, it's all this shit that people talk about. Hey, wouldn't it be crazy if this happened? And I'm like, no, motherfucker, currently happening. Like this dude did
so
the
that
Trail of
yeah,
Tears, and they like
so,
love that about him, Mike. They love his manifest destiny. They want to do it. Venezuela, I don't know what's going on there, but like my buddy was talking about it, I'm like, I'm sure they want to go there and get the oil, probably still, right? Like, what else could it be, right? Like,
the thing is, like, we put up with a lot of BS. We put up with a lot of wars, and I think, like, as a society, as all human beings, I don't think we want that. But it's like a reverse game of chess, where like, or like a game of chess times like 100, where
no,
instead of
it
like only
is
two
Mike.
rows of pawns, they have 10 rows of pawns. Like I don't know.
It just is a game of chess, right? That book I was reading, Thinking in Bets, um, like she was talking about the difference between how like between chess and poker and how like chess there are just specific moves to make, right? And so when you hear these people talking policy or whatever on CNBC or wherever, they're talking out of these playbooks, right? When people look up and like, oh, this is so complicated, it's like, no, it just looks complicated to you because you're a pawn and you can only go one step forward. So like, it looks crazy to you, but the horse knows that he can do a left hook or whatever, you know?
Yeah, so we're fucked, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
we have no control over our own destiny based off the system that controls us, based off who is the chess player. of the overall
Well,
system.
Mike, here's the question, right? And if I was to pretend that I wasn't a space captain here in the distant future and you weren't a green alien, which is clearly what's happening here, this must
Clearly,
be we're obviously in some sort of like weird Doctor Who situation where like this is just us between weird missions, and that's why we're talking and saying crazy
I
things
like to
because
think that
we've
our
like
radio station is in a like a shipping container in space that's going through a wormhole. So it's like half of the reality is just us, and then it's like us in the container, but then it's like us in different. It's just us talking in different like things, but we're being sucked into this thing where it's like any type of reality can show
it's
up.
like a
And
void of content that we're just like it's
it's
just like a
like
black hole of like,
it's
just
like
like
a
going.
black hole of an economy that on the surface looks like there's a lot to do, but when you get into it, into the muck, everything's the exact same and nothing's original and everything's repeated and all
and
like
it looks
joy
and it
and
looks
life gets
pretty.
just ripped away from it
There's
because
you know
it's
there's
being
beautiful
monetized.
there's beautiful
Yeah.
like lights and stuff like coming out of it. It's like a beautiful the rim of the vortex is like beautiful, right? And of course as you get closer you realize oh it's beautiful because that's like the explosion of all the chemicals of all those ships as they're being destroyed. But it's too late at that point because the gravity's got you, and then you'll be another fucking crushed
And
soul
then
in the
you're
void.
a part of it
But
and
what
yeah.
was your question? The
There was no question. I think we just move on to the next topic. Let's
No,
talk about.
Andrew Jackson and the
I
American. No,
don't.
I'm just
Dude, it
kidding, Mike.
went from fucking UFC fighting, from the Rapture to Andrew
Do
Jackson to betting to chess to the Void.
could I
That's
ask
how it went.
could
I don't know.
could I
Okay, I don't.
ask you a producer's question? Because I don't think we get
Yeah.
time after the show to do this. And I think right now we could take time to like be like, this is a show about making shows and how shows work and stuff. But anyway, we won't. We'll never pitch this to anyone properly ever, Mike. Fuck it. Um
Why? Why do we need to worry about that?
But I just want to say it to people for when they're like, why does no one watch? I'm like, well, we never tell anyone to. Uh,
That's fair. This is this. If you are a fan of the show, we really do love you because this it's the most organic growing base there ever has been. There's been no fertilizer sprinkled on this. We don't even have a watering system. It is pure. Just maybe one day we hit one good out of the park, and then someone else catches it. You know, a
yeah.
fan catches it. They tell somebody. I mean, like it is truly is a great social experiment on how well an algorithm works from like a base case scenario and a good experiment for how funny we are and you know how much interesting shit we have to say. We probably just lost viewers after that one, but you know what I'm saying.
No, it's one of those things where it's like, no, ah, damn it. One of the things, damn. I did it, Mike, you son of a bitch. But no,
It's just one of those things. It's one of those sayings that you say all the fucking time. You know.
and I'm doing another thing that maybe I'll show you later. That is
No, I don't want to see your dick on the table again. Okay, we talked about this. Don't want to see
the.
that.
Sorry, it takes me that long to put it back in, ladies. Um,
Oh, Mike, there's no ladies watching this. I can promise you that.
you don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Is that
Yeah,
sexist?
yeah.
We might have one or two.
See, look, we couldn't pitch it. We couldn't pitch it. Anyway, the thing I was trying to say is this I'm doing a bunch of stuff trying to figure out how can I make a good YouTube opening, right? Like part of the problem is when I'm trying to think about what to do with like narrative storytelling and like the way I'd want to do in a movie or a TV show, like that's just like not what YouTube wants, right? Like
No, it's
YouTube
not.
wants you to yell at the beginning, right? But like
YouTube is designed for ADD and ADHD people. It's designed to grab your attention quickly with a fun little yeep or a
which
fucking
is why
face or some
every
shit. Yeah.
time we're in the middle of a transition, I say fuck it and I hit the handbrake and see if we can do a thing with like the like and subscribe that can break out, right? Because like the visual radio on its own as like an hour long thing with like even as I get better at like what's a bit more clickable thumbnail just isn't a thing that's gonna like pop in the way that like man if we could say subscribe in a super funny way a bunch of people will subscribe if it's on a YouTube show, you know what I mean? Like we got like 3,500 things on that Spider-Man. I'm like, man, we should have an organic thing where we say subscribe funny somehow that I could just cut into everything. You know what I mean? That like
I mean, if ask me, yeah, I do know what you mean. However, you cannot just
Mike,
expect me to come up with something funny on the fly.
it's one of those things where you can't expect me to not know what you mean. No, I'm just kidding. Mike, I'm just joking. I'm just having a ball hoot with you, bud. Mike, imagine. Mike, have you considered what if, what if, what if we
for
made,
just for just a $3 a day, you can help support
I'm just kidding, Mike, we
Mike, but
don't have,
don't
we've,
subscribe and like the Patreon.
we've done it more than enough, Mike. You know what I mean?
Have we?
Yeah. Mike,
You
I
won't
think
like
that
it.
was good. I think that was good. I think when I cut the things in that it'll be good. Trust me, Mike. Mike, you never trust me anymore. You know what I mean? And it's Donald Trump's fault. You trusted me so much more, and then he made things worse. And you're like, oh, Mike, I don't know if I believe you anymore. I'm like, I just said he was going to make it worse.
First off, I never said I didn't believe you. What happened was is that he got control of everything, and everything that like you once said, like from a financial standpoint, went the other way. And it's like you may be correct, but from like a grift side, you're wrong. It's just how long can the grift last? And the grift can only last, well, I'd say at least another 3 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Well, I forgot we were doing the podcast. I guess we could say talk, but I thought we could just move on because I don't think this is like a bit in the podcast. But no, like what I'm saying, like, is like his
is
sons.
this not is this not a bit in the podcast?
What I'm saying is like his sons, like everyone's like, oh well, his sons are invested in all this stuff, and they're making like, yeah, they can make this money right now, and they can just they can just pull all the money out. They're not gonna lose any money, Mike. They didn't put any money into any of this.
I know, but I'm saying the fact that people are dumb enough to just say that to you tells me that they're gonna lose the money to that. Whether it's a good investment or not, they trust the name enough to just put money into it. So, like, it'll be a Bernie Madoff situation, but it won't play out for like a very long time. And I think that's the thing that gets me down the most. It's just
No,
like the thing. It's gonna take a very long time to expose all this, but when it gets
no,
exposed, it's gonna
no,
be like blue
because it's only like one or two regulators away from just being like,
being legal.
yeah, just being legal and having no reason to not just go, oh no, I'm going to bring it back over here into the money where it's just better money. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and get bent because what are you going to do about it? Right? Like,
yeah,
it's almost at the point where they can do that anyway. Like, you know what I mean? If you're up top, right? Like, what Trump's proven is like, no, I guess it is just like the cudgel, like you think it is, right? And like, I
yeah.
guess, it was, who knows whether it was, I wonder whether it was better or worse when like Richard Nixon was doing bad stuff. Do you know what I mean?
The only reason I think I think it feels worse right now. It was probably better when Richard Nixon did it because he didn't have a freaking like.
The
He was able
reach
to get
just
away
didn't
with stuff
exist.
more.
There
Wait,
wasn't
there
as
wasn't
many
no
people,
Twitter. There
and
was
there
no
weren't as many
Twitter.
like people
Yeah,
in around. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, and
the
everybody still believed in church.
But in like these systems are so big that like someone just checks a box and like no one has to abjectly be like mean to you for them to just like shit you all the way out to the side of the curb. Do you know what I mean? Like the system is like no one has to drag you out of anywhere. Everyone will wait for you to leave and lock or steal the thing you left. Like, do you know what I mean? No one's been no, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't
Jesus
exist.
Christ! Stop saying. Do you know what I mean? It is about to drive me crazy. I don't know if you're doing it on purpose anymore.
I really wasn't. I just see you
Okay.
smile, and I'm like, oh, is he liking this? And then I say, do you know what I mean?
It was the fourth. Do you know what I mean? It really
Okay, did
all
that
right.
make?
I wish we
Sorry.
could play. I wish we could play. What we need to do for. I'm going to pitch the next idea of the podcast, which is Christmas ideas for the Christmas special coming up, where Joel and I are going to go down to visit Mike Badone. Hopefully, it happens. But essentially we'd be playing like video games and probably recording us and have like conversations about stuff. But I think a fun thing to do at some point while we're down there is watch Trailer Park Boys, like, because I've seen that video where it's J-Roc and the Department of, you know what I'm saying, and dude, it's just that just struck me right there. We were just like, do you know what I mean? After the fourth one, it just, do you know what I'm saying?
But I ain't shook, because motherfuckers try to take me out and stuff, but they can't, right? Know what I'm saying?
You're saying know what I'm saying too many times. 80 or 90 times? That's too many times. Once or twice is cool, but 80 or 90 times, man?
What are you, from the Department of Know what I'm saying? You taking the Know what I'm senses?
What are you, from the Department of Know what I'm saying? Count my Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
I don't believe I sound like J-Roc.
You sound
but
you do.
Here's the clip.
Know what I'm saying? Replay it. Yeah, I would like that replayed when you hit the fourth one, and you're gonna be like, "This is gonna be good for you. It's gonna let you know how many times you say it."
But I think that made sense, Mike. And you know what I am saying. You do know what I'm saying, Mike.
Do you know?
Admit it. Admit you know what I'm saying.
I know what you were saying.
Admit it, you motherfucker.
However, dude, that'd be a funny clip right there. Just like two guys, like one guy being like, "Do you know what I'm saying?" And the guy goes like, "Yes, I 100% know what you're saying." But like somehow the guy keeps saying, "Do you know what I'm saying?"
Do you?
Do you really know what I am saying?
Yeah.
And it just like layers to it. I think there's a Key and Peele skit there. I don't know.
You know what I saw it more like it like devolved into like some sort of like, in my mind, I don't know, maybe like a Rick and Morty type thing where it was like the guy just keeps running after him and breaking through doors and walls. Do you know what I'm saying? And he's just like,
just admit you know what I'm saying.
It's like, God, yes, I do. And he's like, and then maybe it's like it's like an It Follows, but it's do you know what I'm saying? Or like there was, you know what? Do a different parody. There was some movie that was like called "Say It by My Name." Or there was some
Say
movie
my name, yeah.
or something like. Does that sound closer? What was the joke originally? What was
I don't know.
Say my name, say my name.
Say my name.
Whenever
No
you're
one
about
is
me,
about
say
you.
baby,
Say,
you
baby,
love
I
me.
love you.
I think we should
Like and
do
subscribe.
something anyone in America could possibly want to fucking listen to.
Here's the thing. I think there's nothing to really talk about. I think we're all exhausted. I think we're all exhausted. I think we're all just kind of like analysis paralysis out, even when it comes to Netflix. Here's how I know that everybody's tired of like searching for new things, because 28 years later just hit number 1 on Netflix. That
Mike,
dog shit movie.
Our 28 years later content is fucking killing it. Killing it, Mike. Fucking, I don't know. I just assumed, like, because we did, like, Wall Street and we did Together. And Together, was probably technically newer than
Yeah.
28, like, released-wise. But, like, I don't know. It must be because it came. I think there were even some comments about it having come out on Netflix. But like, dude, there's something to that Netflix bump of like, fucking a lot of people have Netflix, and people still must like watching things and then going online, right? I might like look at some kind of trend on this, but I don't know. I thought that was interesting. That like 20 years later, pops, man. Maybe you were wrong in all your criticism, though. All the
Maybe you should
comments seem
watch
to
it,
not
and then you
like
can
it.
tell me how bad it is, because it's bad. It's bad. It's not. It should be called Left 4 Dead, the video game movie
You're,
adaptation
but
that we
like,
clearly ripped off. Here's the thing. I understand that like the average person would like this movie, but here's the thing. I'm just
they're a bunch
where
of left
others.
right step footers or whatever.
I don't know how to explain it. Like, you know how like a lot of people, there's like, in most things I'm a jack of all trades, right? Master of none. But when it comes to like understanding movie plots and character development, it's like that was my football growing up. That was me watching movies and being like, here's, I can tell you why each movie makes you feel the way you want to feel because of the way that the characters develop. Almost kind of like, if I had to put it in a way, in a movie reference way, if you ever seen the movie Bullet Train, I forgot what's the one guy's character, Lemon. His whole shtick is like he grew up watching Thomas the Train, and he can tell you based off the characters structure of the show who is who and their character traits based off the people on the show, because it tells you everything about people. I think I'm that way about movies, in a lot of ways, and the reason I don't like 28 Years Later is because it's clearly not 28 years later. It was clearly, if you've ever played Left 4 Dead, you will know that there are like 4 different types of zombies, and they set that up like immediately. Like there's like a giant ogre zombie that's super powerful. Then they have a bloater zombie that's like crawling on the ground, and it's just like that wasn't a 28 years later. Like when you watch 28 Days Later, like those zombies were just fast moving, crazy zombies that would literally like rip you from head to toe, eating you. And then like that's why it was such a scary zombie. And in this movie, they're literally going hunting in the woods, and the bloaters are so slow, and they have poor eyesight. It's like these are all details that there was no time for details in 28 Days Later. When the shit popped off, it popped off. And if you weren't out of there, like if they heard just like a pinch of sound, you were done. And like this one, they'll be like, oh, they're far enough away we can still talk. And I'm not saying it has to be exactly like the original, but to not even try to connect it at any sort of way, it just feels cheap.
But like, it's the same thing we talked about before when you asked me about like something about angles, right? Like, I'm like,
Right.
it's laziness, it's the system, it's all the things, right? It's like, because at some point, there's so many notes and so many layers. At some point, someone's like, hey, this is confusing or this or that. And they go, hey, man, we have the 2 people we need here. Just say this. And they just like don't have the time or the right planning or whatever to know whether that conflicts with a thing that was said or shot at some other point, right? Like,
Right.
there's just like, and then it's
because there's nobody really doing this with any vision. That's the problem.
No, because the second, people used to like I guess some people walk away from movies and stuff now too, right? But like,
Yeah.
it's why people don't want people giving them notes like on set and stuff like that, right? It's like at a certain point, it's like gambling, right, man? Like you need to be, the bet needs to be set. They're trying to like change their fortunes all down the line, and like the correct answer is like,
if I could describe what the economy of nothing is in Hollywood, if I had to bet, this is just what I see, is that nepotism is ruling. There's no fresh meat anymore in anything. You don't see anyone like really new that doesn't have I mean, kids start today like as child actors, like from like the very young age, and work their way up. And that's how like every star today, like if you were to go on IMDb, you were going to see that they were like Disney channeled out the ass. Like they like Hollywood used to be like you could be a breakout star if like you had the looks and stuff. I don't even think that's the case anymore. I think it's all nepo babies now, just like being from head to toe groomed. If anything, if you're like the son, like if you're the daughter of Ethan Hawke, you're going to be able to jump in the show Stranger Things. But like if you're the daughter of, I don't know, Carrot Top, you're going to have to start on the Disney Channel. You know what I'm saying? Like there's levels to it.
Yeah. It is that thing where it's like, okay, well, we've just like,
it's all about your brand, dude. It's about your brand, man.
Because everyone shrugs it off, right? It's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know, when they found this way to ride this perfect wave of like,
enough innovation.
When someone first announced when the word Nepo baby was first, speaking of riding the algorithm, you're watching Bullet Train. Anyway, we'll get back to it. But
first off, Bullet Train.
First off, it was recommended right after Fight Club, and you're a fucking algorithm bitch. Second way, don't forget my point real quick, right? There is this moment that is like the moment that the word Nepo baby is created, right? And there's this moment now where like the word Nepo baby is useless because there's no going back. It's just all of them, right? And like there is some point in the middle, like the line where like you've gone too far, right? It's like the Rubicon in the middle. And like they found some way to perfectly maneuver like just everything past it all the time. It's like the first time you heard about Nepo baby, I'm like, oh yeah, that probably is a problem, right? Or people are like, no, and there are people like pushing it hard enough that by the time it gets over the line, there's other people who are on the other side of apathy being like, oh, are you still talking about Nepo babies? I used to care about that like a year ago, right? And it's like, oh, well, like it didn't end. Like, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, obviously Nepo babies being the stand-in for maybe other issues. Not that there were any bigger issues in America, unless someone else thinks there is, and then I agree with you, unless you're bad, right?
On this week's episode of The Economy of Nothing, we talk about the Rapture, UFC fighting, how they correlate. We don't know. Xmas ideas.
We didn't talk about Christmas at all.
We didn't talk about Christmas at all, but we're going to have it. Yule log, Mario Party style. Just us talking about how it's really early.
This is the episode?
Yes.
Okay.
Snowpiercer. It's a movie we don't even talk about. Weapons. Weapons gives me the idea that we could shoot our own movie. Also, it's really good. 28 years later, somehow it's number 1 on Netflix, and we talk about how it sucks. And, also Nepo babies and how they're ruining Hollywood. Go to economyofnothing.com, like and subscribe, join the Patreon, $3 a month, and you can help Mike Bedont, aka Captain Tracy, aka the Kanye West of cartooning, survive and probably eat some food because, he only gets like $300 a week. So please help us out, economyofnothing.com. Thanks, everyone. And, yeah. All right.
Everybody.
This is, Mike Bedont, say hey. Just kidding.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I thought we were ending the podcast.
We are ending the podcast.
Oh, that's why I said. That's why I ended the podcast. Okay. Well, we didn't talk about Christmas. I know.
We just need to fill an hour.
I know. That's why. I know, but there was nothing in